Hello, welcome everybody to a new episode of Tuned Into Tennis. I am your host, Miles David. I feel like I always look a little more interesting when I have this cap going direct onto camera, but this is what we're working with today because it's been a day. Happy Tuesday to everybody out there watching. If you have or you're watching this back or just joined live, my name is Miles David. I am the host of Tuned Into Tennis. We are literally in the middle of so many things going on in tennis right now, and I try to keep you tuned into it. On this particular episode, we are going to be going back to a series we've been doing for the past couple of weeks where we are dissecting and picking out our favorite parts of the now airing series on ESPN Plus in the arena, Serena Williams. And I am happy to get really into the weeds of a significant part of Serena's career in this episode. There's some highs and some lows, and we're going to talk it through, not just me, but I guess it's a good time to bring in the consistent voice, the guy that kind of planted the seed for me to do this, honestly. The guy that's been on episodes 1, 2, and 3 with me, Mr. Miguel. Let me add you to the stage here, my guy. Wait, oh wow, that was terrible production. Oh, well, you see Clinton too. So here we go. I might have just Clinton, you just pause for a second. Hey Miguel, how you doing?
I'm good. Glad to be back in the city.
In one piece. Happy to hear it.
Yes.
Do you hear any like fan white noise coming from my side right now?
No.
Nothing like that? Okay, cool. That means I can fan myself and not get it into the clear shot of the microphone, which is a blessing. It's more high tech than just a regular old church fan. Give me some more credit, geez, Miguel. I know we are a struggling production here at Tuned to Tennis, but you know, I can get more than a box fan. Oh, anywho, I'm glad you're back in the building. I'm glad to be talking through this episode with you. And before we get into the weeds of this episode, the other person joining us today, the first time I think as a Serena informant and confidant on the show. I'm glad to have Clinton Smith, one of the first people I remember helping to form the community of Tuned to Tennis. Both of you guys, actually. But Clinton was, I feel like, my first Gen Z voice. So I appreciate Clinton. Clinton, how are you? And welcome to Tuned to Tennis.
I am old.
I mean, yikes.
I am doing just fine. Every time someone says I'm Gen Z, I always it's weird. Because I'm right at the beginning of Gen Z.
You said you're born in 2000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your grandfather.
I'm a little different than everyone who's come after, let's say, 9/11. So.
What grandfather you in? You're still a millennial.
Grandfather you in? Wow. Just an AT&T plan? If you're just joining us
old enough
from.
To get that reference. I get that.
You get it. Wait, do you remember Singular, though?
Who?
Singular.
No, I had Sprint. Does that count?
Sprint PCS
Sprint was around when Singular was around.
Yeah, my phone number is as old as I am because it used to be one of my parents.
Is it never mind. I was gonna put your information out there and say the zip code or the area code.
504.
Why, when you said that, I literally went back to the 504 Boys, like the song. That's crazy. Classic music. Hey Nigel. Glad to see you in the chat, Nigel. Hey, Marcus. Glad to see you guys in the chat. Thanks for supporting. And, okay. Let's get into episode 4, guys. Let me see if I can fix this thingy right here. I'll add this to the screen. I was telling Miguel and Clinton it's hard being a one-man show, producing this stuff, being the person that has the agenda and the talent. You know what? It's just a lot. But it's okay. Serena has showed that you can go through adversity and still see the other side and be okay with it. Because I feel like that was the inner theme of this episode. Anyway, episode 4 is roughly around the 2007 to 2011 phases of Serena's career, which is a pretty significant chunk that this episode goes into. The name of the episode is Into the Deep End or The Deep End. I think it's just The Deep End. It'll all make sense as we kind of walk through the moments of the show that stuck out to us the most. But let's see. I guess to kind of get us started, get us talking about the standout moments in the episode, because we're in that time period of her career, I guess maybe this isn't like a icebreaker to start on because it kind of can get a little heavy. But let's try to keep it light. Things that'll just annoy you instead of like really make you think. And I'm referring to what are some of the losses that most sting or stay with you from that 2007 to 2011 period. I know, Clinton, that you were a heavy watcher during that period, and I know you were too, Miguel. So which one of you want to go first? Because I can't go first. I might make it too deep.
I'll go.
Okay.
So yeah, 2009 was the very first season that I started watching of tennis, period. Great year to be watching tennis. But that next year was 2010. And that French Open quarterfinal against Samantha Stosur, who will make another appearance in this episode. Yeah, that was the one where I was like, oh, Serena's going to get another French Open. Because at that time, I was learning sort of the history and the lore about Serena Williams. And I noticed, oh, she had won multiple of every other slam except for the French Open. And it seemed like maybe she was going to go for another French Open that year. And Samantha Stosur said no. So that's the one for me. And the bob didn't help. The bob of choice at that time, it did not help.
I knew we weren't going to get far in this conversation without mentioning the bob. That's funny.
Of course. But yeah, whenever I see those highlights on YouTube, I'm a little scarred, but it's fine. She went on to win 2 more French Opens.
You mean the one Christian Courts always posts where she's like at the back of the court and like almost
literally
crying?
It's so memeable. She was on the verge of tears.
She was so annoyed. She was like,
where's my game? Yeah, I was looking forward to Serena. I get it.
Yeah, that was a rough watch, especially when you consider she had match points. And she in the episode, we're in that period of her career, but she doesn't really stay there too long because a lot of other things happened in 2010. But before we get into 2010, Miguel, what is the loss that sticks out to you in that time period, 07 to 2011?
Either 9 times out of 10 is going to be that Sam Stosur one. I couldn't stand. I was never a fan because she just gave me like.
Wait, which one?
Actually, the one they showed on the documentary.
Okay.
Because I was just like, why are we here? Because I just always thought we should beat her, and
they just beaten her.
Like they said, she could never finish, and I was just like, how did we lose this one? It kind of I think if we're talking like all-time losses that I hate that Serena took, number one for me is Muguruza. That's the one I hate the most because that's when I was like in the peak of my life.
Which one? I hate that we have to ask that, but which one?
That was the French Open final, wasn't it?
Yeah,
2016, the final.
Yeah.
Stingy. I think
actually 2014 too. Was it 2014?
In round 2.
She beat her twice. Dang it! How did we get into this hole of talking about Serena's losses? We're supposed to be. Well, I mean, she talks about him here, but we're supposed to be in the arena supporting and praising this woman. But I mean, I think Clinton, you wrote this down. Like in the very first moments of the episode that she opens up, she says like, "It's good to look back at some of the losses too." She did say that, right?
She did, and like the little retrospective interview that I think they did at the end of the documentary, she said, those losses made her hungrier, and it was good for her to like look back on those losses and sort of embrace them because she wouldn't have gotten to new heights had it not been for those losses. So I think it might have been pretty cathartic for her to do this whole docuseries.
She said that. I think she used that exact verbiage. It was cathartic. I think because I hear you guys with the Sam Stosur losses, especially during that period, they did sting. And I'm trying to be a little different. And I'll for similar reasons to you, Clinton, like it was around the time where I just started watching tennis. Those 3 straight losses in Grand Slam quarterfinals to Justine Henin, I was not a happy camper at the time.
I can imagine. Because I think she was the first person to beat her 3 times in a row. So like
I didn't like it. I was very upset, actually. I was, especially by the US Open, I was like, why can we not beat this lady?
Yeah. The bob of choice that year too was was questionable. I'm just going to put it out there.
That Bob got a lot of airtime in this episode, though. 2007 U.S. Open black kid with the pink bow tie across the chest. Yeah. That one got some airtime.
Yeah,
if we talk,
I will say she played better in that match
against NN.
Yeah, against NN.
What are you gonna say? What are we thinking?
I was gonna say all my if you want to talk about my top 5 worst Serena losses, they all happened after 2014. So
okay,
yeah.
We're not even touching that yet. So we got more to go. We
ain't even got to get there. I'm just because it was kind of hard for me to think of anything before 2014 because it was just yeah, I'm mad, but the ones that really angered me all happened after 2014.
I can see that, and her longevity to give you different pockets of time to be thrilled with her career, and also kind of disappointed because she didn't win when you thought she would or wanted to. She has a whole bunch of that in her career, which I feel is part of what makes her an icon. Not even part of it. That's the thing. She appeals to a large demographic because she played for so long and was good in different parts of her career. That's iconic. That's what you want. Iconic. Okay. Episode 4, just to kind of give you guys a frame if you haven't watched it yet. I guess we're doing some spoilers here, but it starts off in 2007 with Serena revamping her team going into the 2008 season. This is the season after she wins the Australian Open in 2007. She starts off by adding a new hitting partner by the name of Sasha, a physical therapist by the name of Esther, and a performance manager / trainer / nutritionist / boxing manager, Mackie, from New Orleans. I love that New Orleans got a fair chunk of camera time. As somebody that's in the building from New Orleans, Clinton, how did you feel about seeing New Orleans in the streetcars represented in the episode?
It was nice. I didn't even know Mackie was from New Orleans, but
I don't think I knew that either. Yeah,
it makes sense now because he's the one who married Alexis and Serena, and they got married in New Orleans.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I think it should be making another appearance when we get to 2017.
Little known black fact.
Yeah, I was surprised at the appearances in this episode, period, because the first one was Sasha, and I was like, I haven't seen too much evidence that they are cool like that in most recent years. So I was when he popped up, I was like, oh gosh, what are we gonna be talking about today? I'm like, because I'm not gonna put him down. Whatever. They clicked, apparently. They clicked at that moment in time. And I guess they're still clicking enough for Serena to use him to talk to him and be an interview during her sit-down interview of her career. But I was shocked to see him. I was like,
if she could let bygones be bygones with Maria, I'm sure she could do that with Sasha.
I was just about to say she can it depends. If she's close to the person or was close to the person, I think she's more likely to forgive them.
Yeah.
Because I'm more than sure Patrick's going to make an appearance.
Oh, please.
Are you more than sure?
He has to.
Well, episode 5 is going to be available. Today is Tuesday, so by midnight, ESPN Plus should have it uploaded. And if I'm still up, I'm gonna go see if Patrick is in that. I might tweet about it.
Because what year was that he came into the picture?
2012.
2012.
Oh, coming up. Yeah.
Anywho, for a minute.
Quite a while.
All right. Let's pull from some of our banks of thought about this episode, because I see we both have some notes that we jotted down. I think I mentioned a couple already. I mentioned Sasha. Although we started in the 2007 season, she basically frames it like she adds those 3 people, Sasha, what's her name again? Esther and Mackie, and they slowly but surely get her where she needs to be. And that kind of is how the 2008 season goes, because they showed footage of her winning. She had a couple different titles, just not Grand Slams, until she got to the US Open, and then that kind of started a little bit more of a domino effect in her winning 2 slams a year for the next year with them, in watching that, I guess for selfish reasons, I wanted her to kind of sit in 2009 a little bit longer than she did. I enjoyed 2009. That was I don't know if it was the beginning, but I specifically remember like the 3/4 sleeve becoming a thing and being introduced in 2009. She wasn't always successful with it, but I enjoyed the switch up. And I don't know, 2009, like her playing, was that the last Wimbledon final that the sisters played together? It is, right? That's the last final that they played at Wimbledon, at least.
Sorry, I was
Wimbledon.
thinking doubles.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I just wanted, that was part of my notes. I just wanted her to like stay there because I don't know. I just enjoyed 2009. I don't know. Am I alone in putting 2009 or wanting to shine a light on it?
2009 was great. I've especially thought, or I would have liked for her to talk about that Wimbledon semifinal against Dementieva, because that's heralded as one of the best women's matches of all time. I was rewatching it the other day on ESPN Plus, and I was reminded all over again. I got those feelings back that I had 15 years ago when I first watched that match. So I would have liked for her to talk about that, and I'm sure there's probably one other thing you wanted her to talk about
in 2009. She did kind of scoot over that 2009 U.S. Open. She just mentioned 2010 as like, I really wanted to win the U.S. Open that year. I just, I don't know. I still feel like I'm kind of in waiting for the episode where she kind of really gives it to us about the incidences that have happened in her career. You know, like she's touched some of them, but very briefly. And I don't know if that is strategic for good or for bad, if that makes any sense, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it might be a situation where we've heard so much about it within the tennis community that she may have say, you know what, I don't want to deal in the negative because those stories have already been, I guess, hashed out or told from the media perspective. I don't really need to tell my side because we saw it like anytime there was an incident, for the most part, we saw it live, so it was kind of on us to kind of piece it together, I guess.
Yeah. I think if I were the director of this, I would probably put it as like a montage when we get to the 2018 US Open, if they even talk about it, where she has like the last meltdown of her career, so to speak. At the 2018 US Open, they could be like, well, we've been here before. And then they talk about all of the other incidences where she's been wronged at the US Open, or as Coco put it, she's had to advocate for herself on the court.
Very true.
So I think that would be better storytelling. But like Miguel said, it could just be one of those things where she's like, you know what, this is I have my hand in this. I don't want to talk about this. I could totally see that happening as well.
It's above me now.
Not it's above you now. That's crazy.
I think she'll
take like Nigel said.
Sorry, forgive me, y'all. I'm trying to play producer at the same time. I have a lot going on today. Or maybe, forgive me, just like this episode.
Or maybe they get to the point where she returns to Indian Wells, and then
maybe you'll go back that far.
Well, maybe they'll just talk about Indian Wells in that instance.
Sorry, this is not a Sprite. It is, but we're not sponsored by Sprite yet.
It's spicy water.
No, it's not the McDonald's one. That's spicy water.
But yeah, I think they'll. I mean, they could. It could be. I think they'll try to find a way to squeeze it in, but I don't think she's gonna like
sit there for 2 episodes.
I don't think you want to sulk in that because it might bring back some old feelings.
We're still in the arena, but I do appreciate how visually they gave us just the arc of Serena as she kind of, even though some of the, how to describe this, even though some of the footage that they used, just because we're hardcore fans, didn't always align to the time period they were talking about, it is nice for her to have such vivid memories of that time in her career when she was really putting in what she felt like was the best work. Because as Mackie said, she wanted to, when he asked her, can you show me like a montage or a compilation of Serena at her best to try to get an idea of what he wanted or what she wanted out of her. She was like, I don't have that to give you, which I thought was either Mackie is making that dramatic, but Serena can be dramatic as well too. But I feel like that was fat.
She would say.
You think she would say that?
For sure.
Absolutely.
But I don't know in what manner she meant it. Like, she's never produced her best tennis, which is arguable considering 2002, 2003, or was she never her fittest, which is possible because 2013, I would say, is probably the most fit she was on tour. Like, I don't know what she meant by that.
That was an interesting point that she said she felt like she had. And at that point, she'd already won 8 Grand Slams. Isn't that something? like 8. The girls are at 5 now, and they've been on tour for a little minute.
That's what happens when you're just that much better than everybody else.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the GOAT. That's GOAT shit. Which popped up in the comments. Yeah, I see you, Ty. Is Ty talking on both accounts? I know that's right. A man with multiple businesses. If you want to know what a boss look like, you looking at one. Sorry, y'all. Okay, where did we start? Okay, so we go into 2010. My segues are not great today. Just bear with me. Before we go into 2010, actually, this is a good segue. What did you guys think of the time they invested in the Australian Open final between Justine Henin and Serena Williams, especially that incident with the fan / heckler in the stage or in the audience?
I think it just continues the what's the word? The continuing theme that Serena will literally take sometimes the smallest thing and turn it into motivation and go out there and, win. Sometimes as an athlete, you have to do that because sometimes you go out there and you want to dog it, or sometimes you can go out there and think you're giving your best, but you're not. And then that one thing can, hit you. And then you just say, all right, I'm about to take it up another level because I got to prove a point. That's what it sounds like she did.
Yep, like Michael Jordan said, and I took that personally.
I took that personally.
So she didn't lose another game after that.
Like she did with Maria. She never ever.
And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that match. It's one of the ones that I can actually rewatch if I'm just in the mood to watch Serena. One of the times I feel like at her best. That's a really good match because as competitive as that rivalry between Justine Henin and Serena was, there's been a lot on the line, but there was never a final of a Grand Slam. That was their first and only time playing in the final of a slam. And the energy was just different. Henin was on her comeback tour, and Serena stopped all of that. And that guy helped her, which I feel like, I don't know. I'm sure Justine Henin probably hates that man. If she watches this, I'd be like, why did you say that? Like, you were up. You got to start it.
It wouldn't matter. Her record when winning the first set of a slam final, I think it would have still been perfect.
By 2010, she had only lost 1-2 Grand Slam finals, and both were to Venus. Oh, one to Sharapova.
Sharapova, yeah.
And so 3. What was the fourth one? By 2010.
It was just 3.
Oh, just 3. Okay. I need to go back and watch that actually. Sometimes I feel like I'm cheating on different Grand Slams when I go back, and I don't know. This is a singular feeling. You can tell me if I'm crazy. When a current Grand Slam is coming up, I feel like I'm cheating on that Grand Slam when I watch too many highlights of a prior Grand Slam. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why. I'm just
that's crazy.
Like because the U.S. Open is coming up, you don't want to go and watch any of the other ones.
Yeah, I want to watch the U.S. Open highlights. Like I'm currently in my era where I'm watching the U.S. Open series. Like I was just watching Serena take on Yankovic in 2006. So now I'm trying to like go through while the US Open. I don't know. I feel like it informs. What'd you say?
That was the first match you watched, right?
It was. Yeah. I feel like that era of how many tournaments they had all leading up into the US Open, that US Open series was perfect. It was exactly what I needed to get into the sport at the time. So yeah. Special place. What was I looking for?
I need them to start back advertising like the U.S. Open Series. So they don't even call it that anymore.
It's not.
It's not like it's not an organized incentive for you to play more matches and get more prize money. I think you just get what you get.
Yeah.
But I feel like ESPN used to kind of like give it a little juice back in
They
the day.
did. They absolutely
that's when
did.
they used to cover those other tournaments, like
Yeah.
Rogers Cup and Western and Southern, and even Stanford was on ESPN.
Yeah.
It was easy to piece together and put packages together if you had been airing the lead up. Yeah, true.
Yeah, Tennis Channel was just like, oh hey, see you Labor Day weekend.
Tennis coverage and accessibility, love it. I feel like I've said 72 times today. Should we go into the low part of this episode and kind of like the low moment that we stay at for a while, because a lot happens after 2010. Like in the picture here, she's won Australia, she goes on to win Wimbledon again, and then a lot happens between Wimbledon and the US Open. A lot that at the time, because like 2010 and 2011, I was just like doing my thing. I was a teenager. Like I was watching Harry Potter movies and trying to graduate high school and go to start college. Like I was keeping up with her, don't get me wrong, but like I don't think I had the capacity to understand all that she was going through, was about to go through, had gone through, until I sat with this episode as a 31-year-old and been like, wow, the things that happened just in like the last 7 months of 2010 and then going into 2011 to like an 9-month span, I'd have been like, y'all got it. y'all got it. Clinton, do you since you're in the field of medicine, wasn't I don't know why this popped in my head. Wasn't girl Melanie from the game wanting to be a doctor? Wasn't she want to be a doctor?
Med school. That was her.
She was in med school. Can I call you med school?
Cannot. I'm not in medical school, that's why.
This is true. But because of your expertise in the industry, I guess you're smarter than me at it. We always have references on Spaces of how I'm not that bright, apparently. Whatever.
Okay.
They call me blonde sometimes. I admit it. Sometimes I can be. Anywho, what did you think about some of the things that happened while she was going through the difficulties in 2010?
Holy crap. Like, yeah. I always knew everything that had happened in totality because she's talked about it at length. And it was even covered in the Venus and Serena documentary. But I don't know, hearing it again in this documentary and just hearing like the different stories interwoven in between the sequences just makes it seem like she really could not catch a break. Like, started with the glass in Germany in her foot, caused the limp toe, and she had to go.
That's not funny, but the way she described,
doing this
episode is funny.
She had the limp toe, but I think this also brings up another part of her iconography, is the fact that she's an advocate for Black women in health. The fact that she has gone through so many health scares, and in each case, she describes how she kind of has to like question the doctor and be like, are you sure about this? Because they were telling her, oh yeah, you just won't be able to move your big toe. It won't affect your career or it won't affect your life. And she was like, well, I don't want that for my life. And so she opted to get a surgery to repair it. Then she has a blood clot, which is
a lot.
She has 2 blood clots. She has a bilateral pulmonary embolism, which means that during her recovery period, she had a blood clot at some part of her body, and it traveled to her lungs and caused a lot of damage there. And so that is another injury in itself, on top of the foot injury. And then when she realizes that she has to thin her blood, she is injecting herself with the drugs, hits a blood vessel. Now she has a hematoma, has to go in for another surgery. That's her 3rd consecutive surgery. And it's just interesting because she took an appropriate amount of time to recover for a legitimate injury, unlike some people with 20 plus slams who have these injuries and come back and get to the Wimbledon final within weeks.
and achieve great things, get gold medals and everything, right?
Exactly. So if you want a real account of what it's like to recover from
Injuries,
traumatic surgery, this is the thing to watch, and not the story of that guy.
The champion nobody cares about.
Yeah.
Also known as the champion nobody cares about.
The champion that never was.
I mean, I guess he was a champion. I gotta give him his things, but that's not the subject of our message today. he did all right. He did all right. Like I was saying before, I have no idea. As I said and watched it the second time around, I have no idea how I would have processed all of which she went through medically off the court in a short time span, and then come back and play like at an elite level like that. You know, like 1 year, like literally 1 year she was on a hospital bed twice. The next year she was on the podium of a US Open final. Like that's not a lot of time, which it is, but it isn't. And she said she said like she feel like she rushes back to tennis and rushed this one too, because the time frame of when she cuts her foot right after the 2010 Wimbledon, and then her having the embolism is a year between that last Wimbledon and the Wimbledon she plays next and loses to Marion Bartoli in the fourth round. That's like a full year, and I think she only played one tournament. That was the Eastbourne leading up to that Wimbledon. So I feel like it was almost traumatic to watch. So I don't feel like I have such vivid memory of those couple of matches. They were good matches, especially like she beat Simona Halep and Karolinka at the time, which I feel like were those wins have aged well, but watching some of it back in real time was like, wow, like she could have another. I feel like I said this the last episode. That could have been like a time to put down her racket. Like she could have retired. She could have been like she would have been, I think, thereabouts world number one. You know, like especially the top of 2011 because of inactivity and stuff. She wasn't. I don't think she was the year in world number one, but she had won the most Grand Slams, and to have all of those things happen to you and still like persevere to like the very next year, you're right back at it. That's like that is mind-boggling. It's just me. Like I think that's crazy. No. That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Blood clots have ended careers. Like
it ended people's lives. Yeah, like that's crazy.
The least morbid of the like Chris Bosh. If I recall, Chris Bosh had to stop playing basketball because of blood clots. Either that or it was either blood clots or some sort of heart condition. But like, yeah, it can end careers. So, and I remember him doing an interview where he was saying like, I don't want to be out here playing basketball and then just randomly die on the court, like because that was very much a real possibility. And shouts out to Esther for advocating for her at the hospital, because not everybody has that person. It's hard enough to advocate for yourself as a Black person, primarily a Black woman. It's hard enough to advocate for yourself with these nurses and doctors. So to have somebody there that's like, hey, y'all don't see anything, but I need y'all to go check again. Like, keep looking because something is wrong. Because they were literally just about to send her home.
Right.
I know my friend. Yeah, I know this person and how they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know her medical history because she remembered that Serena had a blood clot from a previous surgery back when she had knee surgery in the mid 2000s. So that also bode well for her. And I think it's interesting because like her relationship with Esther has come full circle because Esther was actually recently diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And I remember Serena posting a video on Instagram where she was in tears announcing Esther's diagnosis. And so I think they have a very beautiful relationship in that they've been there for each other in such trying times in their health.
That is very, very beautiful, especially the part where Esther talks about like she brings Serena down and talks to her and about just simple things that we kind of take for granted, talking to God, praying, and understanding that he never gives you more than you can handle. And like sometimes you got to talk to him like that, like, hey, I know you said you would, but this is a lot going on, which is Serena was like, "Hey, I need a break. Like, I need an absolute, especially after the hematoma. I can imagine just being like, "Hey, buddy, what you doing up there? Like, give me a second. There's a lot going on back to back to back." And to still go out there and play damn good tennis. Like that's in this part of her career, like that's what it throughout her career, that's what it always falls down to. Like tennis, as much as people feel like, she's kind of bratty and like doesn't really take tennis as seriously as she should, or whatever the case may be, like she really does love this sport and goes hard for it anytime that she can. Every time she can, actually.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen her. I mean, how many comebacks have we seen? And she's come back and probably won within the first 3 tournaments that she plays. Like,
or at least makes a statement. Yeah.
Right. 2004.
Make a deep tournament run.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. She wins Miami 2004 as soon as she comes back. I think was that her first tournament that year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she didn't play the Australian Open 2004.
Right. Wins Miami, gets to the Wimbledon final, and then for this case, comes back, gets to the 4th round of Wimbledon, which is impressive. Wins 2 tournaments leading up to the U.S. Open, and then gets to the U.S. Open final. And it happens again when she comes back from maternity leave.
Those 2 tournaments
final.
Those 2 tournaments, I'm glad you brought that up, Clinton. Those 2 tournaments in 2011, like
she played so well.
I don't want to. I mean, I guess I can say this. Yes, that's some of the best tennis I've seen her play. Like that pocket, that Stanford and Rogers Cup in 2011. Woo. Great tennis. Great tennis. Yeah. Also an appearance at the 3/4 sleeve, which we appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a picture of 3/4 sleeve?
I am looking it up right now. I'm in my producer bag.
Yeah, I distinctly remember.
Right now they keep showing me FloJo. I want to see FloJo right now.
I distinctly remember watching those tournaments. I remember her match against Azarenka was comprehensive. Her match, of course, against Sharapova was comprehensive. And then the preview of the U.S. Open final, where she played Sam Stosur at Rogers Cup. She beat the hell out of her. And so when flash forward to the U.S. Open, when they're playing in the final,
there it is.
That's the 3/4 sleeve we like. And a nice hasn't Nike done this recently? Like a very square neckline. They did this at the U.S. Open in 20 when Francis got to the semis. Wasn't it like a very square neckline or something? Am I making that up?
No.
For the women, I don't remember.
No, for the men they did, but I feel like I've seen this. Whatever. If I had a producer, I'd be in my ear like, "Hey, can you find me a picture of Francis Tiafoe at the 2022 French Open and put it next to this?" Like these are things that I need people for. I need the hands or the robots of that guy in the Spider-Man movie. That's what I need.
Oh, Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octopus. That's the guy that like
Otto Octavius.
What was his name?
Otto Octavius.
Do you feel like Serena ever felt like that? When she's like playing her best, there's really nothing that you can't get past her. Because I feel like that was a defining factor 2011, the movement. Like it had stepped up. Even from 2008, 2009. Like there was just a difference in the way she covered the court. You think so?
But even the power too.
The placement on the serve was great too in 2011.
Yes, she was really loading on her serve for sure.
That's what I really need. A certain person to just add.
Don't start.
Just give me some free points.
No. Who actually? I want to hear from you. Who needs to start doing that? Please let us know.
Man. Jesus. Yeah, man. Just I don't know. I miss that's one thing I miss about like her and Roger and Venus. Like if they needed to get themselves out of a pinch, like I could know they can go out there and slam 4 serves, like 4 aces straight.
Yeah.
Or at least get you to 40 love quick. Like I don't need a whole bunch of deuce games or double faults.
But that's the thing that separated Serena. Like her service motion was so fluid that it was just like even on her off days, it was still beautiful to look at. Same thing with Roger. Roger's motion was super fluid. Yeah. I don't think that's what we're seeing with Coco, really. I think she has a very start and stop kind of motion. And like,
can we call Andy Roddick up, or is he part of the problem?
I don't think he's.
What about Roddick?
I think her serves improved, but I would keep Andy Roddick in the room.
Yeah,
I think so. I mean, obviously, is a major part of what made him, a great tennis player. Obviously, but do you think it's helped or hurt?
I've seen the improvements. Whether or not it's consistent, I think, is up for debate. But there's tangible evidence that her serve has improved for sure.
Yeah, like Coco hitting aces in matches just
was not a thing.
Was not a thing before Andy Roddick.
Does anybody serve remind you? Does anybody serve look like this in women's tennis these days?
No.
Oh, it's a thing of beauty. That's like, look at it. Just look at it.
And the really cool thing,
move.
Serena.
I don't want to see me. Look at it. Look at it. What's going on?
So if you notice her hand, she has like the grip a little loose, and that's so she can get a really good snapping motion and generate even more power. That's a secret that not a lot of people really implement in their serve.
I had to learn
the serve. It's a wonderful combination of like being loose in the exact right spots, but being tight in the ones that like you really need to be. If that makes any sense. Like she keeps her core really steady, but her wrist really loose, the tossing arm really strong and steady, and like she can also push up from her legs. Like, oh, an athlete. And all that after knowing that you're dealing with compromised breathing. Like half of your lung doesn't work or doesn't work properly. Like there's necrosing issues in your lungs. That's crazy.
Well, Mackie got her together.
Yeah, a lot of people would have taken issue with what he made her do in that swimming pool.
Ooh.
Like a lot of people would have taken issue. Like,
what do you walk us through what he did? Did that stand out for you in the episode, Miguel?
It did, because it kind of reminds me of like stuff that you hear in like movies and documentaries where my coach pushed me to the edge, my teacher pushed me to the edge to bring out the best in me, and to the point where he was just like, what did he say? Fill this up, and you got to hold it over your head until it's empty,
and you got to not drown. She was in the deep end.
And it was to build. It was an old Navy SEAL exercise, and it was to build up her respiratory system, essentially her lungs, build strength in her lungs. You know, what was left of the lungs that she had, and it's just crazy because, like I said, nowadays, and I don't mean to sound like the old man, but a lot of why would he make her do that?
Yeah, I can't picture anybody doing that in 2024.
Well,
for some reason, I just can't. I can't picture it.
But that'll never make the front page news. Like
they probably wouldn't talk about it.
Like, yo, what is he doing? That's a little extreme. Why you doing that?
It was a little extreme, but it did hammer the point home for Serena that yes, you have this compromised lung, but you just survived that. Like your lung, you have the ability to survive that. Like yes, you're panting and breathing, and it may feel uncomfortable, but if you keep on doing it, you're going to get better at it, and you can survive this. You know,
yeah, it may not have done anything for her liver. I mean, for her lung function, but I was supposed to say liver is crazy. But it might not have done anything for her, anything tangible for her lung function. But that is a great placebo effect because she went out there and did what she needed to do. And sometimes when it comes to that stuff like that, it may not even be the lung. Sometimes you just got to get through your own mental, your own mental walls, and that's what it seemed like, helped.
I think what probably helped is that she did set that goal in her mind. Like she even said the goal of getting to seeded position by the US Open was impossible. And she said it that far for a reason, but like for that to actually happen and her go into the 2011 US Open as a seeded player after just leaving Wimbledon as like ranked 175th in the world. Like that's insane. Amongst the accomplishments that she has, I don't think that one's talked about enough. I mean, she has so many, but like to go from that low to that high, like Clinton tell me your thoughts on that really quickly, and I'm going to find the 175th ranked player on the WTA tour right now just to prove it.
I mean, she said it was impossible. We've seen her do. Wait, is it
Denis Shapovalov?
No, it's Naomi Osaka.
Oh, I'm thinking on the men's side. I'm tripping. Is it Naomi Osaka?
Wait, is it Naomi?
No, it's not Naomi, but close. It's close.
Mona Halep?
No. There's some Romanian there.
Bianca Andreescu.
She ain't doing it. I promise you that. Good old car keys.
That is a crazy coincidence. My gosh.
Well,
that's crazy. As of the 5th of August, she is the 175th best player on the WTA tour. That's crazy. Maybe that means something. Bianca girl, if you are listening to this, or somebody that has our energy intertwined, do something. Do something with this. We were rooting for you.
She's about to go the way of Eugenie Bouchard.
What about Bouchard?
I said she's about to go the way of.
Hey, see, look, they're trying to strike you down, Bianca girl. They're speaking against your name, and I just brought you up in reference to Serena. So lean into it. Why she lose the match that she playing today? My God,
she lost.
No, she won the first set 6-love, but that sometimes things can go haywire.
Oh Lord, yeah, she lost.
Actually, let me live check that.
They're in the third set. Oh,
it's Serena. Serena is up 1-5. I mean 5-1.
No, it says 5-0. Yo.
That's
crazy. My God, the power of my tongue is
whoa.
Either like great or awful. I don't know what.
Does she bagel there?
I literally said things can go a little haywire, and I pull up this court.
She loves.
And this girl has won 4 games since bageling Jarenko. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, would be hilarious. Jarenko would be the one to.
I couldn't be in her box like this. Like I feel like post match, I would love to talk to her about this, like just on some kiki kind of stuff. But like in the box, I'd be like, "What are we doing? This can't be the same match."
Jarenko would be the one to trick off a 5-0 lead, though. So.
I think Serenko has a 2-0 head-to-head against her. But like, how do you win the first set 6-love? How do you win 6 straight games and lose 4 straight? Like
it's Bianca. It's BB. We good. Let it rock.
I literally just tweeted that I wanted Bianca and Osaka to get to the final of this tournament, but wow, I look foolish. Foolish like Ashanti. Foolish like Ashanti. My God,
half of it could happen,
Would have.
Naomi?
Yeah, hey. I'm not going to say anything because clearly what I have going on over here is just very powerful at the moment. Okay, we're doing great on time here. Let's talk about one of the matches, the matches that you guys mentioned at the very top of this stream about the loss to Stosur, because she does get all the way to the US Open final in 2011 using the serve that we just broke down, using the new athleticism, using all the things that she has gone through in the past year to like help improve her tennis, but also, as she said, make her find the fun in it again, because she's been through such traumatic and strenuous and arduous things.
Arduous.
That word got to mention twice in today's episode.
Heard me arduous, as she said.
Arduous.
It's been an arduous journey, guys. I'm dead.
Oh, Serena. Oh my gosh. She is something, man. It was arduous, but we get to that like moment, and Mackie says it greatly before, in the series they show Stosur and Serena walking on. Once you got to the final. I guess some athletes can feel this way. Like once you really got into a place where it felt like you could have just realistically never been, sometimes you still have to go out there and perform. And with everything that had been on like the mind of Serena Williams, the emotional journey it took to go from 175 to inside of a Grand Slam final in a couple of weeks, I think it culminated in what we saw in that 2011 US Open, because I don't think it was the best Serena, although she tried her best. I don't think it was the best version of her, and not for necessarily physical reasons, but
yeah, I think it was probably a combination of both, because I think throughout that US Open series, she hadn't dropped a set. And then she withdrew from Cincinnati to like stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she hadn't dropped a set. And then when she got to the US Open, she played some really good players. Victoria Azarenka, I want to say in like the 4th round. And then she played Wozniacki in the semis. But that match ended up finishing pretty late. And I remember them mentioning that in the Venus and Serena documentary, that could have played a factor in sort of like the lethargy that she was displaying on court during the final. But having this context makes it sound more like it was mental. And you could kind of see that based on the way that she celebrated in her win against Wozniacki. That was kind of a Grand Slam worthy.
Yeah, that was a Grand Slam twirl.
And we've seen that happen to so many players where I feel like if you fall to the ground in your semifinal, you are losing the final.
Yeah.
I think Renee Stubbs just said that before.
If you over celebrate in your semifinal, you're losing the final.
Because that's almost too much of a release of emotion to have to still do something to finish the job. You know?
Yeah. That's like it's like raining confetti down after winning one game in the NBA series. Shouts out to the Dallas Mavericks. Anyway,
did they win a championship?
No, they won one game.
A world championship?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guy. Noah Lyles. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy for standing on business. even if it was just by a smidge, he stood on business and said, "Oh, I'm a world champion. I don't know about the world, what y'all got going on, but like there's some all over the world." Yeah.
He won by the beat of his braid.
Not his BD beads. Oh my god!
Also, challenging that junk because my best friend's wife swears he didn't win that.
It was awkwardly close. Awkwardly, like
man.
I feel like I guess the science showed it. If you have no idea what we're talking about and you're like, what is going on? Obviously referring to the Olympics and Noah Lyles winning the 100-meter race and getting the gold medal for the USA. Look it up on YouTube. Not now because you're listening to us, but go look it up. Do so. And before you leave today, make sure you subscribe and like this video because I don't think I've mentioned that at least once throughout this whole thing. Down on the ticker. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that you would do to a YouTuber that you want to support. You want to support me, do the things because the things are free. And listen, in a world where things are not often free, do things that you can do that are free. I might clip that. That was lame. Never mind. Anywho, you know what else was lame? You know what else was really, really lame? And who was lame? Miss Eva Azdaraki. Not a fan. Not a fan. I don't think I was a fan even when or before this incident happened. Like I think Venus and Serena got into it with Azdaraki once on a doubles court. Am I incorrect in making that up?
2010.
Was that 2010?
I thought it was where she was like, "You're a liar and a fabricator." She's like, "Wrong is wrong."
That
and
sounds
wrong is right.
That sounds like. Are you intimidating Venus?
Yeah, that was
or
that
Serena.
Was Venus. She's like, and I'm not a fool.
I think that was the 2000. I think that was the 2008 Australian Open.
Oh, okay.
I think. Let me.
I know. I saw blue
put it up.
courts. I saw very blue courts.
Blue courts and a lot of temper and passion. I'm looking for, what is this? What is this? Come on, Twitter. Twitter normally has my back. Then I have my back right now. Well, actually, Twitter does not have my back sometimes. Sometimes it be on my back. Why would you say this? Why can I not find a picture of this? Either way, she gets to that final, Serena does, and yells, "Come on!" in an aspiring moment. Get the best game out of her, and get the best game and level out of her at the moment, and it goes quickly awry when the chair umpire feels like she did that to hinder her opponent, even though Sam Stosur barely got her 2011 edition of the Bablock racket that she was using on the shot, and the shot went into the stands. But you know, that's what Eva Azdaraki saw. If I have to give one of these U.S. Open incidents that Serena has gone through over the past 20 years, if I have to give Serena like gripe for any of them, or like say she was kind of on the wrong side is a better way to put it, I feel like it would have to be this one, because she did audibly say it. She did audibly say, "Come on," and like Clinton, I think you alluded to, like she twisted the narrative just a little bit to like ignore the fact like it was deemed hindrance and just focus on the fact that she said "come on" too loudly. It was a great "come on" though. It really was a great one.
It was, but the ball
was
like already over the net, and I was like,
yeah. It was close. It was like the trajectory of that ball bouncing and her saying "come on" to like the ball bouncing off of Stosur's racket into the stands. It was tight. I have to. We got to call a thing a thing. I just don't know if that meant that the point should have gone to Stosur, and I feel like Serena was right in arguing that. I think because
I think sometimes the referees jump too quickly to a more severe punishment.
No, I think that's the rule.
Oh, it's an automatic rule. Got it. Oh, because what I'm thinking about is what happened with Shapovalov the other day. Like,
is it really automatically a rule?
Hindrance is automatic loss of points.
Actually, yeah, because they said it in the documentary. They said Sasha said
it's a player hindrance. It's automatic.
Yeah.
Loss.
Sasha said it in the documentary. He said that is the rule. It's automatic.
And Serena's gotten dinged for hindrance before. 2015 Australian Open final. It was hindrance, loss of points.
Yeah,
as Allison Hughes said.
In the what final?
Australian
Which final was this?
Australian Open 2015 against Maria Sharapova.
But this was before that. This was before that. Did she have
but it's
incident?
It's always.
I don't want to admit
it. I'm on Serena's side always. Mm-hmm. I think the rule is stupid altogether because Samantha did not have a. I have to say Samantha to remind me of her pronouns. Samantha's play on the ball was not going to go into the court. So I feel like Eva could have let that go, but even to this day, the way Serena describes that incident, she's not acknowledging the fact that she broke the rule. She's just like, I said "come on" too loud, and like, no, that's not why you got dinged. Like, you said it in the middle of a rally. The point wasn't quite finished yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The way that she has framed that psychologically makes me think she still harbors a lot of resentment and pettiness about that incident.
Hold on, wait. Did we lose Miles?
I think Miles went off camera because I made a joke.
Oh, that's crazy. Hey, but you know what, Miles? You want to laugh again? We are down to one break on Bianca Andreescu's racket. I told you Sarenko about to trick off that lead, man.
I'm so sorry, Miles. I was doing so good.
Miles, you on mute.
I was doing so well. It slipped.
I'm really glad I'm on mute because wow, my God. Sorry. Okay. Woo. Let me shake that off. Oh, Clinton, you're terrible. You're terrible.
I'm so sorry.
That's
Fatty.
awful. Where am I in my thoughts? Where am I? We talked about, we're at 2011 US Open. And it kind of, would you guys say that it abruptly ends there? Or like she learns what she learns from that, and like we're supposed to just start going off into the even better Serena years? Like the if I could critique one thing about this episode, is that it does kind of like stop in a way.
Like it feels like the ending of a TV show, like at the season finale. That is like very much like anticlimactic. Like, oh, I could make a reference to a show that just ended on Sunday, but I'm not going to do that. It very much felt like,
what's the show?
House of Dragons. Yes, the way that
House of
the Dragon,
Game of Thrones Dragon.
Yes, Miles.
I don't know. Maybe y'all be talking about dragons and cards and how, like, I can't keep up on the timeline. I really can't.
House of Cards hasn't been on TV.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
In years.
But there's like no Cards of the Dragon, or like there's none of that. I'm making it up.
There's House of Dragon, and then there's Game of Thrones.
Dragon.
But no cards.
Universe.
Oh, wow.
There's House of Cards, which is a Kevin Spacey show.
Yeah, we got rid of that a long time ago when we figured out what kind of man he was.
Sorry, this is my blind moment coming in. Sorry.
It happens, Miles. It happens. That's what we're here.
But no, did Serena really learn anything? I don't know. I feel like they could have ended the episode probably where she loses at the French Open, because her woes continue. Like, of course, she has a bit of a resurgent clay season in 2012, winning on blue, which is iconic. And then also she won the Family Circle Cup. So
what?
I'm laughing.
I just thought Nigel, man, that's funny. Carson Dragon is like Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, he got it. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff.
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
They could have ended it right where she loses to Rosano, and then be like, "Well, I need to."
Oh, why are you bringing this up?
Because they're going to bring it up. I got to get ahead of my trauma, you know.
Ahead of your trauma. Wow. Why does it do this? Well, I don't like this setup. Because why can I want to be able to see you guys in the screen? Like, act right, StreamYard.
Miles, I have a request.
What's that?
Can we play that Serena rap song?
Right now?
No, at the end. Because I feel like
if you can pull it up, sure.
The one that Ty brought up last episode?
Yes.
Oh, brother.
We found it after the stream was over.
Oh, brother.
Wait, you haven't heard it, Glenn? Oh, it's fire. Fire.
You can give us like a 15-30 second snippet if you find it.
Oh no, go ahead. Y'all keep talking.
As you can see, I have good taste in music, so I would never.
Come on, Erica. Yes, Erica. Baduism. Wait, hold on. Don't tell me who that is beneath her. Off the Wall, Baduism. Who is that after Badu? Hold on. Is that Bruno Mars? Ooh. Stevie Wonder?
Yes.
Which album is it from Stevie Wonder?
That is Inner Visions, circa 1973.
Hey. Taste. We see each other.
Great album.
Yeah. Miguel, you don't have no albums on your wall?
Do I have any albums on my wall?
You don't have the Lauryn Hill, nothing like that?
No, I don't listen to Lauryn.
Lauryn Hill is somewhere in my.
You don't listen to Lauryn Hill, Miguel?
No, that's.
You gonna sit here? You gonna sit here and lie?
I promise you, I don't. It's not about Serato.
I
know the songs, but I'm not about to I don't go out of my way to listen to Lauryn Hill. I was definitely blasting some D'Angelo this morning, but
what D'Angelo?
Brown Sugar, baby.
Must Be Like This. Heaven Must Be Like This. There you go.
Oh, okay.
And Jones in My Bones. And these dreaming brown eyes of mine, some shit like that. I can't remember. I like that.
I like Send It On. That's my favorite D'Angelo song, I think. I feel like it's a deep cut that people don't really talk about. Maybe I just made that up to feel cool.
I feel like his first two albums, top to bottom.
Isn't he? Didn't he have a baby or make a baby or create a baby with Angie Stone?
No, but they dated for.
I made that up. Damn.
I don't know if they
Miles.
had a baby. I know that they dated for sure, and then he dropped her because his label was telling him
I sold her phone back in the day.
to be single.
That's like an unsung episode somewhere up in there, I think, huh?
I think Angie Stone's unsung, probably.
I'm gonna see if they got that ripped from TV One on YouTube or something like that.
It's going to be in like 18 parts, just to prepare you.
Yo, you want to talk about somebody that's like a diva in real life?
Who's that?
Angie Stone is the one.
Really?
Like, she sent her driver in to buy her phone when I was working at AT&T, and then she finally came in and she was just going off on everybody. It's like, damn, girl, this is crazy. Like, snapping, this is taking too long. I need my new phone. I got this, that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right. It's a little bit of a, you got to, what, I think like 512 was the new thing out. So you got all this shit on your phone. It's going to take a
What's
while.
a 512?
512 gigabytes.
On an iPhone?
Yes. What?
That's the max.
Not now.
When
You
you
get a
started?
terabyte.
Oh, okay.
A what?
You get a terabyte now.
Wait, you mean to tell me you can get 500 gigabytes of storage on your iPhone?
That's for like 3 years.
I haven't bought an iPhone since the beginning of 2022.
Oh, well, they had a 512 back then.
Oh, I got what was on hand. That's what I've kept because it did
I'm
everything I needed to do.
a 256 kind of guy. I don't need that much stuff, so I just stick with that. Miles, don't tell me you walk around with a 64 gig.
Oh, you don't have to live like that anymore.
I don't know. Let me.
I miss when it used to
Around
tell
it.
you on the back of your phone how many gigs it had.
When it was engraved, good times.
Yeah.
Good
Miles
times.
walked around
good
in
times.
2013.
Hush. How is it supposed to tell me? I feel
Go
like
to settings.
I feel like I knew how to do this. Yeah. Setting general what? iPhone storage?
Yeah. No.
I think this is 120. I have a 128, I think.
Okay, that's not bad. That's respectable, I guess.
I think.
Ooh, I got 68, 62 gigs.
It's an iPhone 12. Yeah, iPhone 12 with 128 gigabyte capacity. Nigel, hush. I do not have Mint Mobile. I keep on every podcast I listen to these days. Shout out to who?
To Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, shout out to the Twitter Space loyals in the YouTube comments. Will, I see you, Nigel. This picture, Nigel, is that a hat that you have not on?
No, he's got a wrap in his locks, or like.
Oh, okay. I love it. Marcus is in the building. Will is in the building. Who else? I need Kareem up in here. Who?
Ty.
I don't. Wait. I gotta scroll up for Ty's comment. Ty might have went go play with them birds. Sorry, I had to do it. If you had dogs, I would do the same thing. We love Ty's birds being active in the Twitter space.
Oh, they did have a child. Okay.
Who?
I did not know Angie Stone had children.
Oh, okay. That was the comment. Yeah,
Sorenko close it up, by the way.
Oh,
poor kid.
I cannot believe that I sat here and like almost gave a play-by-play of that ladies' match without even watching it.
Oh, BB.
Is it like it? Do I have like a special?
Just wishful thinking. That's all.
But it was accurate though. Like I thought she was gonna. Well, okay. The wishful thinking was definitely putting her into the finals of the slam. But like how I predicted that loss, even after she won the first set, 6-love is just.
It happens.
I gotta start readjusting before we sign off here because this is a harsh. I feel like this is a very sand or line in the sand kind of episode. That's why we got it to kind of like really end harshly because we all know that 2012 onward a lot happens with Serena. Like she was just talking about in the episode, like how tennis is repetitive. You do the same thing. You kind of like or kind of get lost in your own solitude. But from 2012 to basically what we got to the end of her career, a lot of tennis was played and a lot of championships were won. So the next 4 episodes of this, I am quite looking forward to. Even though I feel like she could give us 10, so it should be 6 more episodes. But I'm interested to see who it is that they add to the screen. Do you guys feel like they're going to add some different interviews?
I see Patrick coming. Because they have reconciled, actually. Like when she was in Miami this year. Yeah, when she was in Miami this year, they like hugged and stuff. She's good friends with Grigor. You know, the boyfriend with the black heart. So yeah, it's possible. Anything's possible.
We might get an Aya Tomjanovic sighting.
Whoa.
I'm trolling.
Whoa.
Never mind. I'm not even going down there, bro.
Serena would have to buy her flight on her behalf. No.
You know, as I was doing something earlier today, and I was thinking like a lot of the people between this next period of Serena's career are still alive. Well, some of them still play tennis. They're kind of like maybe a little younger than her, but they're her peers. I wonder if she's going to pick a couple of them to like talk about, especially like the really long rivalries that she had with some players. I'm not saying she's going to bring Sharapova on, but she very well could get like a soundbite from Victoria Azarenka.
I would love that.
Like, or Wozniacki.
Oh yeah, not her rival, but I see what you mean.
I'm just saying, like one of her contemporaries.
Yeah,
now,
she was there. Yeah.
Do we get any celebrity appearances? Do we get a Rachel Elizabeth Zane, aka Meghan Markle, or
which final was Meghan Markle in the box for? Or like which tournament did she really attend?
Was that
2018 Wimbledon and 2018 US Open and 2019?
Get her out of here. Sorry.
And
I'm sorry, I was messing with
maybe 2019 Wimbledon. I think all 4 of those finals she was there.
Wait, did she talk about her Beyonce era too?
Whose?
I would very much like that. Serena. Being in the videos and all that stuff.
Yeah. That is kind of crazy. I enjoyed that time of life. Like those were merging names and auras that I really, really enjoyed. Oh, what a time!
Yeah.
To be alive. What a time to be alive.
I would love to see Megan on there talking about their friendship, and then maybe Beyonce.
If she gets listen, I might have to call an emergency space. If I open up that ESPN Plus app and I'm watching this shit and Beyonce comes across this fucking screen, I might throw something at it. I'm like, bitch, sorry. Like what? Like that would be. Yeah, because even like the small like instances they've had of like crossing paths is like mind boggling for me, to the point where like I think Kelly Rowland was in Serena's box at one point for I think either a slam that she won or she lost, but she was in it during a significant moment, and like that's like Beyonce's sister, and like Beyonce
like US Open final, one of them.
I saw that Sierra sighting too. What was that, episode 2 or 3?
Yeah, Sierra was in the box.
Yep, she was there in 2011.
Serena really was an it girl, man.
She's a girl.
Still is. But like, and then she had multiple eras of being an it girl. Like she was an it girl before there was social media. She was an it girl when social media was kind of sort of starting, and she's still an it girl now that it's like at its peak. Like that's crazy. Iconic. That's what she deserves a series like this.
She's gonna continue to be the it girl. I mean, who's carrying the sport besides Coco? Yeah, who's carrying the sport?
Oh, on the women's side, I feel like before Naomi left, Naomi was in that mix.
Yeah, and now it's Coco.
We just need Naomi to win Rogers Cup and get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. Coco has to defend her points.
Has to?
I would like for her to defend her points.
2,000 out of 3,500 is good.
You said what?
2,000 out of 3,500 is good.
Yeah.
Meaning repeat at the US Open.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
I just had an idea. I had an idea. I was like, but why would Coco make an appearance on this? I don't know. Maybe she might in like the last episode. I don't know.
oh yeah, to talk about her legacy.
What if Sloane Stevens
No.
drops inside?
No.
What if she? I mean, there's a moment that she could stop and talk about.
That is me closing my laptop.
Yeah.
I actually would love to see that. Now that I just said it, I would love to see them have more of a copacetic. Like they may have packaged it up years ago, but like to the public persona, there was never this public. Oh, we cool, girl. They never really had that moment. I don't think. You know, they just were. You know, platonic.
They may have had it, but I didn't internally.
Yeah, no.
Sloane is annoying
here. I'd rather see Matt. Never mind.
Woo! All right. Let me make sure I can check my notes before we skedaddle and do this Serena troll on out of here.
On there before anybody else, I am going to lose my mind.
Anybody have any parting thoughts before we wrap this up at about an hour and 15 minutes?
I want to thank y'all for keeping me motivated while I was at the airport yesterday because I was about to throw some shit. But
you're very welcome. Been there before.
But outside of that, I mean,
you know what you should do at the air? Maybe this is just what has recently helped me. Anytime I'm perplexed and a little bit like just frustrated with the travel process, sparkling water at the airport tends to hit differently. Not sure why. Maybe that's something I made up, but it has certainly helped.
I'll just go order an old fashioned.
What is it with people in old fashions? Maybe it's the same thing I have with. Do you drink old fashions, Clinton?
I've had them. It's not my drink of choice.
What's your drink of choice?
I like gin and tonics and Moscow Mules with tequila.
Nah, I mean, I like
Moscow Mule, yes,
but yeah, just give me an old fashioned. Now, if I really want to take the edge off, give me a top shelf Long Island. But I'm not doing that right now.
Ooh, yeah. There's a bar here that does $2 Long Islands on Fridays.
That's when the Decatur starts to come out, but
not the Decatur where it's greater. Woo!
Where it's greater.
Hallelujah.
So yeah, I'll stick with an old fashioned and call it a day.
I like that I'm kind of in the middle of all of that. Like I like a lemon drop, but not vodka with tequila. Okay. That's been my kick lately. And I do like a Moscow Mule.
Or an espresso martini.
I've tried that like once or twice, and it's not bad, but I don't have to. It hasn't like sunk into the spirit of me needing to like have it to get the edge off. It's like, oh, okay, I'll try it, whatever.
I don't even drink coffee, but I love an espresso martini.
I love a frozen coffee, like a Dunkin' Donuts or something like that. Clinton's looking like,
I'm sorry.
That ain't for me.
Yikes. Did I already ask y'all for parting thoughts? Did y'all have any before we were out of here?
I'm really looking forward to the next phase because that's like
peak
Serena in my opinion. Like that, I think that was the longest that she was that good. 2012 to 2017. Yeah, I would agree. She won a lot, and I'm excited to see like what she, what she portrays. When she's been on that like couch seat thing, she's been giving us some good gems, and the graphics to go along with all these episodes have been really, really good. And for that, I love how you can tell that she's pregnant in the interview because she's like leaned all the way back.
Which interview is she like leaned all the way back in?
Not like all the way back, but I remember even in the promo, I could tell she was pregnant because she was like so far back, kind of like with Candy
on the couch.
Yeah, like Candy.
I remember when Candy and Candy
just
did
further back. I was like, oh, she's pregnant here. Yeah.
Oh, Serena, still giving us gems. That's crazy. All right.
Yeah, definitely happy to come back for another episode if you'll have me. So
I appreciate you coming and dealing with my hot mess today because I was not bang on it. And I think both of you know why.
Yes. You announced before.
Life happens, okay? Life happens.
Oh, no judgment.
But you keep rolling. If you are with me right now, please, all 250 plus of you. I know that's not like a big number in the sphere of social media, but in my life, 250 people watching anything that I am currently doing is, a good thing. I'll take it.
That's great.
250 plus of you need to like this video, share it on another social platform, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, tell me what you're looking forward to either in real time for the next episode before we hop off of here, or tell me if you've been watching this whole time and watching it back. Let me know in the comments what you're most looking forward to in the next 4 episodes of In the Arena, Serena Williams, because all 3 of us, Miguel, Clinton, me, we're looking forward to it. So I'm wondering how it's impacting you as well. I'm to steal a phrase I've been hearing a lot from London. I have no idea. Serena thinks she's from London sometimes too, but I'm just chuffed to bits.
Oh, that's her summer character.
I'm chuffed to bits. I'm chuffed to bits. All right, fellas, let's head on out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in with me. The next episode, as we sit here and record this on a Tuesday evening, drops midnight Wednesday, ESPN Plus, and I think it airs on ESPN linear cable the following Tuesday during the evening or something like that. I think that's how they work it out. On Wednesday on ESPN Plus, and the following Tuesday on regular ESPN, and then the Wednesday after that, the newest episode drops again. So it's kind of like a 1 week cycle. So anyway, I've talked my head off to you guys at home and to Clinton and Miguel. Thank you guys for dropping by, and we are going to sign out until next episode, and peace in the Middle East. Do people still say that?
You should.
Yes, peace in the Middle East. Yes, absolutely. We definitely should. Thank you for reminding us, Clinton.
Gen Z of me.